Truth and Lies, The Informant, a 5-part series from ABC Audio. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Communities and
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us on this finally Friday afternoon, 1:06 right now. This is Weather and Ag in Focus, and I'm joined here with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Ag Director Bridgette Readel, I being Justin Storm. How's your guys' afternoon going on this chilly day?
Better than yesterday.
I thought I pushed that button.
Yeah, you're pushing buttons, all right.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Nice try, guys.
Was that Long Island iced tea you're drinking there, or is that just regular iced tea, Bridgette?
I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I hope it's Long Island.
She's not saying
it's
anything.
Iced tea.
It's iced tea. That's
fine.
all you need to know.
You just need to know it's iced tea.
That's all you need to know.
Oh, just like this cup, it only contains water.
It is Friday, and the boss said we could do whatever we want today.
Yeah. No dress code either.
We're going to be fine.
Oh, we're getting in trouble during this show because we got some fun things we're going to talk about today, aren't we, guys?
We do. It's going to be a great day. It is warmer out there. It's not a blizzard warning. People are looking forward to the weekend, and I heard it might even be sort of nice next week.
Yeah, it is going to be nice next week, and a few other things that we're going to get to today. I know that egg prices have been a pretty big conversation point over the last, months. Is that going to change? Probably not, but Bridgette's got some information on the FDA egg rules, which will be upholding egg prices, potentially. That'll be interesting to talk about. And Dean's got a fun thing that we're going to be talking about as well. He shared this on our Facebook page the other day, and it was something revolving around the crashed ship on Mars. Something that was discovered by the NASA rover that just so happens to very vaguely, Dean, resemble a spaceship.
It's a rock formation, and or is it a crashed spacecraft on the planet of Mars? We did put that on our social media site. We put it on Weather and Ag in Focus on our Facebook page. If you want, you take a look at it and you say, what's going on?
I've seen
there?
it, and it looks like rock people fly it.
Well, I had a listener and a past guest send me the link to a podcast, and I haven't been able to listen to the whole thing yet, talking about basically this type of situation, what's going on Mars. And let me just find that. It was Dr. Stephen Greer, the mystery behind UFOs, on the Sean Ryan show just back in February. So if people are interested and want to hear that podcast, you can email me, ag@flagfamily.com. I'll share it with you. Again, this came from one of our listeners and past guests. And so for those of you who might want to follow up on your own, here's one for you to listen to.
You know, it is an interesting topic, though, outside of it being a spaceship, which, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't think it is. It does kind of look like one.
It's a rock formation, but then it looks like somebody probably photoshopped the cockpit on there as well. It's probably what happened. So you mean to tell me we see something on the internet and on social media, and you're saying it might not be true? I can't believe that.
Shocking.
I can't believe that.
Right.
But it does go on to an interesting point, though, and this could be a fun little conversation point throughout the show if you want to join in and leave a comment, give your thoughts on it, 701-293-9000. You believe that there's life on Mars or potentially life on Mars? Now, I'm not saying sophisticated,
you talking about
interstellar
organisms?
Traveling organisms, but, you know, in life, organisms, something on Mars at some point or currently.
Well, someone could say that we as humans aren't exactly overly sophisticated ourselves.
Well, there's a good handful of us.
There's a good handful. That's for darn sure. One's in the room.
But could there be some microbial life of some sort? Well, I don't think we actually know the answer to that yet.
What was the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where they went to Mars and they found out the center of Mars was actually a big ice core, and you melt the ice core and it actually puts in oxygen and gives them an atmosphere, but they didn't want to release it.
I don't remember what that was.
Not True Lies. Bridgette, do you remember the Schwarzenegger movie where he goes to Mars and
right?
You know what movie I'm talking about, right?
I do, only by osmosis, because Arnold
Total
Schwarzenegger's
Recall.
movies
Total
and
Recall,
the History
that's it.
Channel. Yeah,
Thank
these
you,
play on a
Michael.
loop at my house, like in background information, so I don't actually pay attention to a lot of them. I just know that they're on.
Gotcha.
and
So, I mean, according to
happening.
that movie, there was actually intelligent life on Mars. So,
Yeah, according to the movie. I mean, I think that it's fairly likely plausible that there is some form of life either on Mars or within our own solar system between the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, maybe as close as Mars.
we can't be the only ones out there.
I mean, I think that's a little...
I think your tinfoil hat does actually have some validity from time to time.
Well, I don't even know if we can call it a tinfoil hat this time, because it's pretty plausible. There's no way that we're the only form of life.
Now, I use the word intelligent very loosely in this room, but we'll just use intelligent, air quote, intelligent life. So,
Okay. Oh, goodness, guys. Okay, so how about we talk about something more intelligent than that? And I want to go back to Justin prompting us at the beginning of the hour about eggs and what's going on there. So I'm not sure if everybody knew this, but chickens that are raised for meat in the United States are not the same chickens that pop out eggs that go to the grocery store.
What?
Okay? Let that sit.
No, they're different?
That's actually very true. They are different. Raise your hand if you didn't know that, because I think there's a lot of us who maybe didn't know that.
I thought a
So-
chicken was a chicken.
There's different chickens, right? And there's also broilers, layers, the whole 9 yards. Plus, all the variety of chickens is how you get white, brown, or colored eggshells. Well, the National Chicken Council, there is one, has submitted a formal petition to the Food and Drug Administration asking officials to drop a rule that's been in existence since 2009 that keeps chicken producers from selling excess eggs because they're not refrigerated right away. There are rules here in the United States that if you are going to sell eggs, they've got to be washed, which takes off the bloom, which can allow bacteria and so forth to penetrate the shell, which can then make them unsafe to consume. Whereas, like in Europe, if you don't wash your eggs, the bloom stays on. You can literally leave them on your counter for like 10 days to 2 weeks without any concern. A lot of countries around the world don't wash their eggs and don't refrigerate them like we do here in the States. So if this rule were to change, they would do it because 43 million of the 58 million birds that were slaughtered due to bird flu in 2022 were egg-laying hens. So if this rule is backed off, it means that the chickens that are there for meat, their eggs, which right now normally are just thrown away or rendered and used in other animal foods, would actually hit the commercial market, like the grocery stores, food services, etc. That would equate to about 400 million more eggs into our market. Our annual egg capacity, if you will, in the United States is about 100 billion eggs per year. 400 million would help, might not change a lot of what's going on, but this has in fact been a proposal that the National Chicken Council has asked for. But the United Egg Producers, they are a trade group. They said it would be a bad idea to relax the food safety rules, which to me brings up the question, the chicken or the egg? Which one?
Well, now a question on that, Bridgette. So you said the bacteria. So I buy eggs off of, if I'm not buying them in the store, I do buy them off of Personal Farmer. And they're not refrigerated. And again, you don't have to refrigerate those eggs. And I don't even know, I guess I should probably ask them before I bought them, but should I be cleaning those eggs or is that not necessary?
Well, so my sister and her husband and their kids also raise eggs, and they will wash them to take off manure and like hay that gets stuck to them when you find the eggs out in the coop. And when you do that, then they do need to be refrigerated because it washes the bloom off the eggs. If your eggs haven't been washed, then you can leave them out at room temperature, but you probably should wash them before you use them so nothing on the shell falls into the food that you're making. And
Interesting.
just by
Okay.
chance, gentlemen, next Tuesday, we are going to have Julie Gardner-Robinson. She is with NDSU's Nutrition and Food Safety, and she's going to be with us to talk specifically about that age-old question, are white eggs or brown eggs more healthy? Spoiler alert, they're the same. They're the same.
No,
So she's all of those things.
Now, I heard, depending on what you feed the chicken, that could affect the color of the yolk and possibly the nutrient content in there. Is that right?
It can, but think about it this way. When you buy beef It can differ if it's grass-fed or corn finished, what you have for vitamins,
Right.
minerals. So yeah, I think that can vary as well
Okay.
in that egg production. But the colors also vary on the variety of chickens, right? There's different, just like with when you have dairy cows, you have Holsteins, Brown Swiss, Jerseys. You have different types of chickens too, and they lay different colored eggs.
Interesting. Yeah.
Could you tell me again, Bridgette, why are the reasons why the meat chickens, why don't we use their eggs? Is there something different with them? Are they smaller?
It's because they don't get refrigerated right away.
Okay.
And so that is an FDA rule that within a certain time frame after the egg is produced, it has to be refrigerated. But in a meat chicken, they don't have that rule. And so those eggs haven't been refrigerated as quickly.
So is that the only reason why the eggs are the same?
That's the one that's listed as what makes the biggest difference in them, is that FDA rule. Now, we can dive into that a little bit deeper if you'd like, but it makes sense in my head as to when you have that rule to follow about refrigeration, you're trying to avoid any potential bacteria, et cetera, that could affect food quality. And sometimes eggs are a perishable product at some point. And so also if it's the hot summer months, et cetera, you're trying to use extra caution depending on your temperatures, that type of thing. So I can see why this rule exists. And I'm not necessarily sure if 400 million eggs from the meat chicken industry will affect the commercial egg production industry, but it can't hurt. And the other thing is, we have started to see egg prices come down slightly. What will they do after Easter, which is our next big baking holiday and Easter egg dyeing holiday? And we also may see lower prices on eggs at the grocery store after that too.
Interesting. Well, we're going to be having
We'll
a
see.
guest come on with us, Bridgette. Do you want to tease who that guest is and what we'll be chatting about?
Would love to. It's Keith Bartholomay. He is with Bartholomay Cattle Company from Sheldon, North Dakota. Recently, they were the winners of the North Dakota Stockmen's Association Environmental Stewardship Award. Well, what's that award? What's Bartholomay Cattle Company like? We're going to ask Keith all those questions and more when we come back after this.
Oh, can you imagine a stress-free Sunday with family, friends, fun, and food? You can have it when you make Barron's your new Sunday brunch headquarters. Experience a brunch like nowhere else. Your kids will love the customizable waffle bar, fresh scrambled eggs, thick-cut bacon, and much more. Plus, while Mama sips on a mimosa, you can wear out the kids in the arcade at Kingpin's.
For a stress-free Sunday, mention My Brunch Headquarters and receive 20% off brunch at Barron's. Make your Sunday stress-free, filled with great food, no cleanup, and most importantly, where family, friends, fun, and food come together for brunch at Barron's. Located off Highway 81 and 52nd Avenue within Kingpins. Go to brunchatbarons.com. Again, brunch at BARONS.com. And don't forget to mention My Brunch Headquarters for 20% off and experience your stress-free Sunday at brunchatbarons.com.
Oil and natural gas help provide the things our counties and communities need. Taxes paid by the oil and natural gas industry fund schools, roads, and flood protection across North Dakota. That means we can run our farms and businesses and educate leaders for our future. It's one of the many ways oil and natural gas are making life better in North Dakota for generations. North Dakota's oil and natural gas, advancing the possibilities.
Comfort King, wake up!
I don't want to, Night-Night.
You must! The Knights of the Round Mattress have assembled to address the foreign mattress invaders.
Yes, box beds and foam mattresses have infected the kingdom, causing poor sleep for too many of our citizens.
They've been tricked into buying beds without even laying on them. It's madness!
If only they knew that Honorable Comfort King makes the world's best mattress and comes with a soft spot warranty and a lifetime comfort guarantee.
Comfort King Mattress Factory for queens and kings.
And peasants too.
Remember when Dad took you to the implement dealer in town and you walk into the dealership and there it was, aisles and aisles of all those cool farm toys? Feel like that again, making those memories with your own kids and grandkids at the 2nd Annual Greater Grand Forks Farm Toy Show, March 10th and 11th at the Alara Center. Admission's only $6 and kids 12 and under are free. See one-of-a-kind toys made by local craftsmen and aisles of those cool farm toys. The 2nd Annual Greater Grand Forks Farm Toy Show at the Alara Center, March 10th and 11th.
Welcome back to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. So glad to have you joining us today. It is a thrill as well to have a guest on the line, and that guest is Keith Bartholomay. He is with Bartholomay Kattle Company out of Sheldon, North Dakota. They are a recent winner of the North Dakota Stockmen's Association Environmental Stewardship Award. Keith, hello. How are you?
Pretty good, Bridgette. Glad to be here. Us guys in the grazing business like to see I'm happier today than a dung beetle in a fresh cow patty.
A dung beetle in a fresh cow patty. I like that. So, Keith, for you, as a livestock guy, that's going to have to be the fact that you have a whole bunch of snow going on, right?
Yeah, that's what I hear. I'm in business with my son, and he's stuck back on the ranch. I'm down in Arizona right now.
Wow. Lucky you.
That's not all bad. So Keith, tell us a little bit about the Bartholomay Kattle Company. How did you start? What are you raising? Just give us some background on your operation, please.
Well, I started ranching and farming with my dad, and when I come back home, probably 40 years ago, or 30 years ago anyway, it's been 40, be 40 in April. We raised cattle, and at that time they were a dairy farm. And then my brother Kent and I took over the place, and we farmed and ranched for a few years. And then 5-6 years ago, I was getting close to retirement, and I had a son that wanted to work in, so we split the operation. My brother and I split the operation up. And so my son, Carl, come back from college and come back on the ranch, and we took the cattle end of the operation over and named it Bartholomay Kattle Company. It's K. Cattle Company is spelled with a K, and which kind of bothers my English teacher quite a bit. But it's really after Keith and Carl. Carl with a K, so it's Bartholomay Kattle Company, Keith and Carl Bartholomay. We try to keep around 300 cow-calf pairs, and then we usually take the calves, we background them for sure, and we put up a beef feeding system, a hoop barn to feed cattle in, so we background them for sure, and then if we got the time or the conditions are right, we will take them all the way to finish. Some years we send half of them. We've been sending half the cattle down or the steers anyway, and a few heifers down to Nebraska to finish for us. But we retain ownership all the way to the end on all our cattle.
And for you, this operation, like you said, been near and dear to your heart for a long time. You've got the hoop barns for finishing, but you've probably also got a lot of other activities going on besides the cattle. What else might be part of your operation? Are you raising your hay and your corn, et cetera, for feed as well?
Yeah, we raise almost all our own feed. We do use distillers grains, and right now we're getting some potato French fries out of Grand Forks because it's cheaper than corn. It's better to sell the corn and feed French fries, I guess, right now. So yeah, we don't raise much cash crop. Once in a while we do have a cash crop, just like wheat. We'll stick wheat in the rotation just for our soil health ventures, and we sell some hay. We have quite a bit of alfalfa, so when the weather is right, which doesn't include this year, we have hay for sale, quite a few years, especially with like the last 3-4 years, we've sent quite a bit of hay out in western North Dakota when they get in a drought.
And they appreciate that, because any hay coming over that area when they're dry, that makes a very big difference. And I just have a quick question. When you said you're feeding French fries because they're cheaper than corn right now, how does that change your ration? Are the French fries kind of giving you the same feed value that the corn does?
Well, it's pretty close. Yeah, a lot of starch in them. So, I mean, we don't feed all French fries, of course. We still feed some corn. And right now, on the growing calves, we're feeding a little bit of earlage, which is silage without the stalk. It takes the ear off the stalk and then chops that up and puts it in a pile. So, but it replaces quite a bit of the corn, and it's pretty close to the corn. I mean, you got to balance the vitamins and minerals are off a little bit, but that's why we hire a nutritionist to figure all that out for us.
I would be curious to see if there's any difference in the taste. If in the beef as it is fed, mainly French fry, that would be very interesting to find out.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, we haven't ate any yet, so I can't tell you. Okay. And last summer we didn't see our grading go down too much. We're selling the grid all the time, and our grid didn't go. Our grades, our choice grades didn't go down very much that we've seen using them. So
good.
I don't know. I wouldn't think they'd taste any different. So
maybe that's one way that you go ahead and you get your potato and your beef all together in one instead of having to make a big potato on the side.
Perfect.
So Keith, we're going to get to this in a little bit about your winning of the Environmental Stewardship Award, but you're kind of backed up right against the Cheyenne grasslands, correct? Down in your neck of the woods by Sheldon?
Yes, we have yeah, we're right north, and then our operating country we're in Cass County too. We have a section of some pasture up on the Maple River, northeast of Sheldon.
Okay, so can you explain a little bit about that grasslands, how grazing works there when you're so close to it? What are some things that you maybe take into consideration to be a little more protective of that grassland, et cetera?
As you know, it's administered by the United States Forest Service, and it's public land and national grasslands. The grazing privileges are attached to our base property where we live. I guess that all the management there is run by the Forest Service. We kind of agree, although I think at times they're a little bit behind us in our grazing management on our private land. Whether, I don't know why that is sometimes, but so the grazing is agreed on. Of course, they've got a lot of other uses that they worry about more than we probably do, although I'm not sure. We worry about the water and the wildlife a lot in our place. And the land is number one. It always has been my number concern and still is. As our knowledge and our technology grows in the grassland grazing, we've kind of adopted all the latest technology to keep us current in the 21st century of grazing, where a lot of people, they graze like their great grandpas did, but they'll run the GPS and all that and auto steer in their tractors, but they adopt 1880s or 1580s grazing management. Well, we have technology in the grazing management, and we know a lot more than they did back then with our land, and make it a lot more productive.
Right.
Well, and that production is an important piece. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, I was going to say that kind of leads into this because, with your company and what you're doing over there, Keith, you're just won an award, the North Dakota Stockmen's Environmental Stewardship Award, and I want to know exactly what is that award, what goes into it, and we're going to do that when we come back. And if you have any questions for Keith, you want to ask those, give us a phone call, 701-293-9000. We're going to touch on that award and what goes into it and a little bit more about what Keith is doing when we come back, so stay tuned. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
The famous chips. The potato chip, the chocolate chip, the computer chip, the poker chip, the paint chip, and the windshield chip. Glass Doctor of Fargo Moorhead wants to remind you that the difference in temperature outside and inside your vehicle can make a little chip grow into a real budget buster. So make your repair or replacement appointment today at Glass Doctor of Fargo Moorhead. Call or go online at glassdoctor.com/Fargo. That's glassdoctor.com/Fargo.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint.
Why do we see so many Subarus on the roads around us? Because drivers trust Subaru's safety and reliability. According to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com, Subaru is the most trusted brand for 8 years running. Claim one of our incoming new all-wheel drive Subaru models, and you could be enjoying that reliability sooner. Muscatel Subaru, located just off the interstate in Moorhead, or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Subaru, built to last.
Happy Harry's presents the 58th annual Red River Valley Sportsman Show, March 2nd through the 5th at the Fargo Dome. The Sportsman Show is really 5 big shows in one. A boat show with the latest in fishing boats, pontoons, runabouts, personal watercraft, docks, and lifts. It's a camping show with North Dakota's largest display of RVs, campers, and trailers. A travel and vacation show with over 100 resorts, campgrounds, and hunting lodges. Guarantee your dates now by planning your vacation right at the show. A hunting and fishing show with a great selection of rods and reels, tackle, and the latest in outdoor electronics. Daily hunting and fishing seminars featuring Ted Takasaki and Todd Ammonroot. Kids fishing clinics, live trout pond, and introducing the exotic birds of Wildlife Wendy. Save $1 coupons and show information available at fargosportshow.com. It's North Dakota's largest, the Sportsman Show, March 2nd through the 5th at the Fargo Dome. Bring the whole family and don't miss it. A Sonenko production.
Joe's Egg Supply is celebrating National FFA Week, February 18th through the 25th. FFA and agricultural education provide a strong foundation for the youth of America and the future of food, fiber, and natural resources systems. FFA also promotes premier leadership, personal growth, and career success among its members. Saluting the members and advisors of FFA are your friends at Joe's Egg Supply, your local full-service agronomy service, here to serve you with locations in Havana and Lidgerwood.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 1:34 this afternoon. We're speaking with Keith Bartholomay from the Bartholomay Kattle Company in Sheldon, North Dakota. You got any questions for Keith? You want to join in the conversation? 701-293-9000. Now, Keith, before we went to break, you're kind of talking about grazing on the land and whatnot, and that kind of led into you've recently gotten an award, which is the Stockmen's Environmental Stewardship Award. For the state. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that award is? What goes into it? What do you got to do to be eligible for this?
Well, yeah, it was started quite a few years ago, and it's kind of piggybacked on the National Cattlemen's Beef Association Environmental Stewardship Award. You don't have to do anything except do a good job with your land and raise cattle. I guess I'm not even sure you have to be a member of the Stockmen's Association, North Dakota Stockmen's Association, although I have been for years. I know it was started back when I was on the board, which is over 25, 30 years ago. So they every year the board nominates three or four, three people or three operations and then they judge it goes to a judge, like the game and fish and people that are in the environmental field. They judge the awards and they pick one, and this year we were picked. It's quite an honor, especially from the North Dakota Stockmen's. The award was started, to showcase that cattle operations and farmers, especially in cattle, we do care about the land, and that we do, and that we're taking care of it for future generations. We knew there was a lot of real good operations out there that are concerned about the wildlife, concerned about the water, and so it was part to honor the people that are doing a great job out there, and part I don't know what you call it, but to let the public know that we are doing a good job. Nowadays cattle, that's all we hear in the national media, how cattle are ruining the climate and causing climate change and all this propaganda and don't eat meat and all that stuff. But I'd challenge anybody to come out to our pastures, and we're using waste food, and we're very environmentally sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we use a lot less per acre. We use a lot less chemicals. We don't use hardly any, just when we have few problems. So
and Keith,
I guess that's the award.
Keith, I've got a couple of questions. The first one is, and you touched on a great subject of all the propaganda that cattle and their flatulence and you name it is causing horrible. It's horrible for the climate. How do we get the word out that this is not true? How do we educate the people more to get the word out? I mean, the government obviously has the tool of the media. What could we do more, or just the ag industry in general?
Well, I think what you guys are doing here and inviting me on, I really appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully we reach some of the city people through your thing. Hopefully I'm not just talking to the crowd, or to my own crowd. So I think that's the big thing is, we're trying. All organizations, ag organizations, are going to the people with their case, and I think that's every person, every farmer and rancher has got we have a little bit of education on some of the people that aren't quite doing it, that don't quite believe in it yet, but the bigger problem is that we have to get to the city people that they want to know where their food comes from, and I think we got a great story to tell. We need to tell it. So right. I want to thank you guys.
And Keith, one more question on my end here. So you were talking earlier about your grass, hay, and pasture, and how 2021 was rough, obviously with the severe drought we had, and last year wasn't too bad until the end of the summer where it did turn dry. What are your plans for 2023?
Well, where we're situated, we have high water table, so when it's dry, we kind of like it. A little bit dry, we kind of like it. We don't like it a lot dry. Our plans for 23 are pretty much the same. We had extra grass last year, and we had extra grass in 21, so we're kind of trying to catch up. And it's a nice problem to have when it's drought, but so that's part of this grazing. If you do your grazing right and plan for the future instead of just plan for the year. So we're always planning for the future. and that's gotten us through all the droughts. Our biggest problem have been some of the floods that we've had. When you get in the high water table and no drainage like we have, then we get lots of cattails and willows and cottonwoods and stuff. So I guess we're not planning anything too much except maybe keep a few bit more yearlings back this year.
Okay, and you were kind of mentioning, on taking care of the land and how you use less chemicals, and a lot of how propaganda has been going out there with cattle and agriculture being harmful for the environment with all the phooey that goes along with it. What are you doing differently, and what are other farmers doing that a lot of people maybe aren't familiar with that makes you so much better for the environment than what people are saying?
Well, I guess the biggest thing that we do, number one, our biggest advantage, I guess, is that we graze a long time through the winter. We got crop aftermath. We have cover crops. This year we were set up to my goal in life is to have one winter in North Dakota where I do not feed any hay or very little supplement. I haven't made it yet. We've had three or 4 years where I've gotten by on less than one bale of hay equivalent per cow and bull. I've fed them, so I've gotten that. So we use all the crop aftermath. Now, if this weather breaks and the snow goes away, we got some swath grazing to go on to now that we didn't bale it. We just left it lay out there in the field, swathed it, and left it lay. And if we wouldn't have got 2.5 feet in December, we'd have been of snow. We'd have been in good shape. Right now, I think my son's getting ready to move him back there, and then we will have rye cover crops that are interseeded in corn, and to go on. We're hoping by the middle of April we'll be done feeding hay if the snow is gone by then, or mostly gone. It doesn't have to all be gone. So that's our number one thing that we're doing. And that keeps the weeds down too on the cropland. On the pasture land, we rotate fairly rapidly. We're not doing it like some of the top ones are doing, but we rotate our cattle 7 to 10 days. And so our grass is getting rested for some of it. Like this last year, we rested over half our pastures were only used once, so they won't get any grazing for 365 days. So there's a lot of forage out there that gets worked into the ground that feeds our bugs and for our soil health, and that the recovery time we'll bring the cows out, and within a couple 3 days, even in dry years like 2021 without any rain, our grass is already in a week. It's 2-3 inches high and growing right away because we leave enough leaf area and stuff to regenerate the grass. So that's the thing. And a lot of farmers now are rotating at least 4 or 5 pastures. We found that we needed at least 10 pastures to rotate one herd through to get a lot of the advantages, herd effects, nutrient recycling, and that all helps our soil health.
Right, and with all of that, you had mentioned also that you're using less chemicals and I'd imagine fertilizers as well, and that's good for the land and the runoff that could come from that as well, right?
Yes. Yeah, and of course, all of on our feedlot, all the water. None of the manure is exposed to the water. Everything's under a roof, and we have a manure storage pit that we spread. And when we spread our manure, we definitely do it with a nutrient management plan, so we know how much nutrients we're putting on. And then we make sure we put that on. When we put manure on, it's always put on cover crops, so we have something growing right away to grab that manure. We don't inject it, but we do put it on when the cover crop is growing, so that it grabs and keeps the amount of grass down, or the amount of nutrient loss down, because it's valuable stuff.
Well, and not just the fact that you're raising cattle out there, you've also got a crop going on, Keith, but based on the pictures you've shown us, you've got a pretty good relationship with wildlife. Not every rancher has that, but it looks to me like you aren't too bothered by having some deer and wild turkey out on your pastures as well. How's that relationship work for you? Pretty positive?
By most part, you get a winter like this and they find our third cutting hay pretty hard, which I don't like too much. But other than that, you know, and then we make sure that we allow hunting. I mean, we want the hunters to come. We enjoy the hunters and help keep the deer down. But yeah, as you can see, we got pretty good habitat, and in the summer that we love to see them. When they start working on my fruit trees in my yard, and my third cutting alfalfa, I get a little upset. But but that's just a short time, and it's kind of a neat problem to have.
Well, Keith, you have answered so many awesome questions. And by the way, I'm with you. I don't appreciate it when the deer stop in my yard and want to chew on my trees either. It doesn't make me very happy. So, Keith, if folks wanted to reach out and visit with you, ask you questions about the award, etc., how would you like them to do that? Do you have a Facebook page or anything that you'd like folks to take a look at?
Well, all my information is down, and we didn't get into, but the North Dakota Grazing Lands Coalition has a mentor program. So if you go to ND, I think it's ndglc.com, North Dakota Grazing Lands Coalition, I'm one of the mentors, and all my contact information is there. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, but I don't do that. But that mentorship program was set up to anybody that had questions or is trying regenerative grazing or anything and has questions on fencing, water, anything, succession, grazing, how you figure out when you move your cows, all that kind of stuff. That's all on that website, and there's people scattered throughout the state that are willing to help in any situation. So
thank you for
I'm
sharing
on there,
that.
and that's how you get a hold of me.
That's fantastic. And if folks forget what that is and they have a question for it, they can always email me, ag@flaggedfamily.com, and I will point them in the right direction with the North Dakota Grazing Land Coalition. Thank you again to Keith Bartholomay of Bartholomay Cattle Company in Sheldon, North Dakota for our visit today. Folks, we're going to catch up with the American Ag Network next.
Oh, can you imagine a stress-free Sunday with family, friends, fun, and food? You can have it when you make Barron's your new Sunday brunch headquarters. Experience a brunch like nowhere else. Your kids will love the customizable waffle bar, fresh scrambled eggs, thick-cut bacon, and much more. Plus, while Mama sips on a mimosa, you can wear out the kids in the arcade at Kingpin's.
For a stress-free Sunday, mention My Brunch Headquarters and receive 20% off brunch at Barron's. Make your Sunday stress-free, filled with great food, no cleanup, and most importantly, where family, friends, fun, and food come together for brunch at Barron's. Located off Highway 81 and 52nd Avenue within Kingpins. Go to brunchatbarons.com. Again, brunch at BARONS.com. And don't forget to mention My Brunch Headquarters for 20% off and experience your stress-free Sunday at brunchatbarons.com.
There is always something fun and delicious going on at Sweet Shots. Enjoy the happy hour in the lounge with half-price apps, $3 house wines, taps, and White Claws. Weekdays 3:30 to 8:30. Oh, and check out their weekday $10 lunch combo with mouth-watering items that include choice of soup, chips, or coleslaw from 11 to 2 every weekday. And they have great-tasting new menu items to try out at Sweet Shots, where membership has its privileges. Find out about individual, corporate, golf, and simulator memberships at Sweet Shots in Fargo. 52nd Avenue South, online at sweetshots.com. SUITE shots.com.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. Hungry kids get sick more often and can struggle in school. It can be harder for them to focus and learn. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. good healthy food, and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures.
We want to ensure that all of our kids have healthy meals every day.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping feed our kids.
To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
Hey, if you're going to Sioux Falls for work or pleasure, then the Home 2 Suites has you covered. Adjoined to the Sanford Medical Complex and close to campus for the University of Sioux Falls and Augustana makes Home 2 Suites convenient for college visits or healthcare meetings. You'll find complimentary breakfast, in-suite kitchens, and meeting space on the property. And it's only 5 minutes from downtown Sioux Falls and only 2.5 miles from the Denny Sanford Premier Center. The Home 2 Suites by Hilton. Your home away from home in Sioux Falls.
Hail Comfort King, honorable defender of truth in the land of comfort. I am here to offer my service to you in defense of slumber from the insomnia invader.
Welcome, good night, to our quest for peaceful rest and comfort for all our fellow citizens.
With our soft spot warranty and lifetime comfort guarantee, we shall surely reward their faith in the craftsmanship of Comfort King.
Indeed, good night. Say, what is your name?
Knight.
Well then, night-night, night-night.
Comfort King Mattress Factory, for queens and kings.
And peasants too.
How long is the warranty on your car repair? Hi, this is Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Ford Auto Care. Every qualified repair at any of our 3 Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo locations is now covered by our extended 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty. Yes, you heard that right. 5 years or 60,000 miles. Peace of mind, just one more reason to choose Fix It Forward Auto Care. Ask your service advisor for details. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Remember when Dad took you to the implement dealer in town and you walk into the dealership and there it was, aisles and aisles of all those cool farm toys? Feel like that again, making those memories with your own kids and grandkids at the 2nd Annual Greater Grand Forks Farm Toy Show, March 10th and 11th at the Alara Center. Admission's only $6 and kids 12 and under are free. See one-of-a-kind toys made by local craftsmen and aisles of those cool farm toys. The 2nd Annual Greater Grand Forks Farm Toy Show at the Alara Center, March 10th and 11th.
Joe's Egg Supply is celebrating National FFA Week, February 18th through the 25th. FFA and agricultural education provide a strong foundation for the youth of America and the future of food, fiber, and natural resources systems. FFA also promotes premier leadership, personal growth, and career success among its members. Saluting the members and advisors of FFA are your friends at Joe's Egg Supply, your local full-service agronomy service, here to serve you with locations in Havana and Lidgerwood.
Happy Harry's presents the 58th Annual Red River Valley Sportsman Show, March 2nd through the 5th at the Fargo Dome. The Sportsman Show is really 5 big shows in one. A boat show with the latest in fishing boats, pontoons, runabouts, personal watercraft, docks, and lifts. It's a camping show with North Dakota's largest display of RVs, campers, and trailers. A travel and vacation show with over 100 resorts, campgrounds, and hunting lodges. Guarantee your dates now by planning your vacation right at the show. A hunting and fishing show with a great selection of rods and reels, tackle, and the latest in outdoor electronics. Daily hunting and fishing seminars featuring Ted Takasaki and Todd Ammonroot. Kids fishing clinics, live trout pond, and introducing the exotic birds of Wildlife Wendy. Save $1 coupons and show information available at fargosportshow.com. It's North Dakota's largest, the Sportsman Show, March 2nd through the 5th at the Fargo Dome. Bring the whole family and don't miss it. A Sonenko production.
Markets mostly lower near midday. You're listening to the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen with this market update. We're talking now with Arlen Suderman, Chief Commodities Economist at StoneX. Arlen, as we take a look at the grain trade and really commodities as a whole moving lower, it feels like a lot of recession fears once again in the outside markets spilling over and creating headwinds here for the commodity trade as a whole. Is that what you're seeing here on Friday?
Yeah, that's certainly the case. It's pretty much a risk-off day. The exception would be the crude oil market, which is getting down to the bottom of the trading range. That has pretty much contained it over the last several months. So that's got a little bit of support. But outside of that, we're seeing the equities under pressure, the dollar higher, treasury yields are higher, and the grain and oilseed prices are lower as well, along with the equities. Kind of risk-off, as you indicated. In some cases, that's added to the selling we already saw earlier this week, and recession fears have been kind of the theme on Wall Street all week. That has spilled over into the grain and oilseeds, particularly doing some chart damage to wheat and to corn. And frankly, they don't have a fundamental story right now to prove them wrong. So the momentum trading algos are just kind of piling on in those markets. Seeing a little bit of strength in the soy meal come out because of the surprising low numbers from Buenos Aires Grain Exchange and Argentina's corn and soybean crops, making the assumption there that that's going to increase demand for U.S. soy meal going forward. And that's providing a little bit of support for soybeans as well. But overall, the headwinds are pretty strong for the markets today.
And that is market analysis with Arlen Suderman of StoneX as we look at the market trade here, working to midday. Beans and corn now coming under more moderate pressure, anywhere from about 3 to 9 lower. Wheat futures under heavy pressure, down 20 to 25 cents. Cattle and hogs now showing moderate losses as well. Crude oil back up 81 cents a barrel, 76.20. The Dow Jones still down about 400 points. This is the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen.
Along with there. Thanks for turning my mic on, man.
Man,
it's Friday, and you're asleep at the. You are not manning the ship anymore. You just, you're slacking on a Friday. Bridgette, what am I going to do with him?
I don't know. I'm too busy laughing at the whole situation.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So we've got.
The barn door.
That's how this show is
People
going.
are going to think we're giving away stuff now.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. We've got some high clouds coming into the area. Still cold out there. Temperatures are right around the 0 to 5 below mark across much of the area. Could see a flurry or two after dark and into the early overnight hours before skies clear out. And that's mainly far southern valley into lakes country. Lows tonight, anywhere between about 5 and 10 below. As we head into tomorrow, we're looking at more sunshine, temperatures back into the teens and then 20s on Sunday as warmer air tries to push into the area. But, I was talking with Justin and also talking with Gary Lesak this morning about the LRC, and he said, note that the blizzard that hit Minneapolis just this week. He goes, I want you to backtrack 50 days. Take a look at what happened in Minneapolis. Backtrack 50 days, which is the length of the LRC cycle, roughly 51, 14 inches of snow. He's like, all right, now go to the West Coast. He's like, they're getting that huge storm coming into the West Coast right now with, 3-5 inches of rain. Go back 50 days, see what LA got. Sure enough, 1 to 2 inches of rain with a big storm coming on shore.
Lucky dart throw, dude.
That's a lucky dart throw, right? Yeah. So,
Or maybe the LRC is just that accurate,
maybe.
guys.
Yeah, there's always that possibility.
Yeah.
And we want to remind people, March 7th. So that's a week and a half away. We will have our spring and summer outlook for our ag community and just for the public in general. That will be from 2 to 5 on the Jay Thomas Show. We want people to email us questions ahead of time if you want, or you can always join us and call us as well. And I've already got the maps in from Gary and for this upcoming spring and summer, and we'll give a little hint. It's not bad news for our ag community. It's not bad news.
Okay.
So there
we go.
That's one little nugget, and then we'll go more in depth month by month. If we have to break it down week by week, we can do that as well for the spring and upcoming summer.
Looking forward to it.
I am too. Should be
It'll
good.
Fun.
We're running out of time.
I think we're about to run out of time here.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. You got to get to the gym here soon.
I've got to get to the gym. I've got.
special.
I'm in a chili contest tomorrow. I've got to go home and make my chili.
You got a whole weekend planned. Don't you?
I'm gonna have fun this weekend.
Well, we hope everyone out there has a great rest of their Friday and a great weekend. Remember to join back here on Monday, 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of fun things going on next week. The Jay Thomas Show is coming up next.
970 WDAY